Sometimes you really just want to wrap your mouth around a delicious sub filled with perfectly seasoned meatballs, covered in rich marinara, melted mozzarella, and nestled in some hearty sourdough bread. Well, I've got the remedy. Join me today while I show you how to make this mouth-watering masterpiece. And I promise you, these homemade vegan meatballs are 10 times tastier than store-bought. So, let's get started. The very first thing we're going to do is prepare some brown rice. I'm using long grain brown rice, but short grain works just as well. And I'm just going to let this simmer for 45 minutes. Next, let's start the sauce. And this is the easy part because we're just going to combine a jar of marinara and a jar of pizza sauce together. And these are both sugar-free, by the way. But we're going to be adding a few extra things along the way to enhance the flavors. So I'm adding both jars to a saucepan. And this helps create a nice thick sauce that will sit better on bread. And then we're going to saute a couple of cloves of chopped garlic in some olive oil. Then add it to the sauce and give it a stir. Then we're going to add in some dried parsley, dried basil, and some oregano. And stir it all together. And then just let it simmer and become infused with all that flavor. Okay, so now we're going to roast a red bell pepper, and I'm just going to let it broil for about 20 minutes. Meanwhile, let's prepare an Italian seasoning blend. So to a small jar, I'm adding in 1.5 teaspoons of dried oregano, a teaspoon of dried marjoram, a teaspoon of dried thyme, a half teaspoon of dried rosemary, and a half teaspoon of dried sage. And then I'm going to screw the lid on and just give it a few shakes. And there we go. This seasoning blend really makes these meatballs burst with flavor. And it also tastes delicious in soups and other savory dishes, so it's a good thing to keep some of this on hand. Let's line a baking sheet with some parchment paper and preheat the oven to 375. Now let's prepare the vegan eggs. And we're going to do half flax and half egg replacer starch egg. So we'll do the flax one first. And we just add a half teaspoon of ground flaxseed to a dish along with 1.5 tablespoons of warm water and whisk. Then for the energy egg replacer, we just add 3/4 teaspoon of product to a dish along with 1 tablespoon of warm water and whisk. And then just allow them to thicken. Alright, I've removed the red pepper and wrapped it in foil to steam and soften the skin. Now I'm going to chop up about 1/4 cup of white onion and a large clove of garlic. And then I'm going to cut up 2 tablespoons of Italian parsley and just set it aside. Okay, it's time to peel the pepper, and I love how easily the skin peels right off after steaming. Now just chop it up and measure out 1/4 cup, and it smells so good. All right, let's saute the onion and garlic in some olive oil. This fragrance always makes a house smell so inviting. I'm adding in a tablespoon of tomato paste and sautéing for just a minute or so longer. Okay, it's time to make the meatballs out of all these delicious ingredients. To a food processor, we're going to add a half cup of raw unsalted walnuts and a quarter cup of rolled oats. Process or pulse to break down the oats a bit. Then add in a quarter cup of the cooked brown rice, a quarter cup of the roasted red pepper, the sautéed garlic, onion, and tomato paste, the vegan flax egg, the vegan starch egg, a tablespoon of Italian seasoning blend, a quarter cup of nutritional yeast, 3/4 teaspoon of sea salt, and the chopped Italian parsley. And pulse until combined. Now roll this deliciousness into equal-sized balls and place on the baking sheet. Bake for 12 to 18 minutes or until firm to the touch. Meanwhile, melt some vegan mozzarella in a pan, and I'm a huge fan of Follow Your Heart vegan cheeses. They taste delicious. And let's slice this beauty right down the center. The top of this sourdough bread is so lovely. I can't think of a better way to embrace these amazing vegan meatballs. And ding, the meatballs are done. And they look and smell incredible. So let's layer on some of this rich marinara sauce, which turned out absolutely delicious, and then add the melted mozzarella. And then tuck in some of these magical vegan meatballs. I love how this is coming together. I can't wait to eat it. Maybe add a little more sauce and cheese. Garnish with some fresh basil. And wow, look at that. I love it. I know you're gonna love it too. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. These meatballs are amazing. I highly recommend you try this recipe and subscribe to the channel for more delicious recipes like this one. Thank you for watching. I'll see you all next time.